Okay, everybody, we are back with Ihatovo Monogatari. I'm gonna be starting from chapter 3. Um, if you do get interested in this game, do give it a chance. It recently got a fan translation, maybe like a year or two ago, which is what I'm playing right now. This is it's basically a game where your character decides to get on a train and just go wherever, and ends up in the town of Ihatovo, where Kenji Miyazawa, an actual real Japanese fiction author and poet, lives. Um, he's the writer of I think his most famous work is Night on the Galactic Railroad. But basically, it's just like a really small, quiet town, and you decide to find the missing pages of his journal and find out more about the man because everybody is so excited whenever they talk about him. One thing, it's a very just quiet Japanese RPG-esque format, but it's more of just a regular arcade game, not arcade game, adventure game, where there's not really any combat or anything. It's mostly just picking up items and talking to people and animals that live in this town. And one thing I really like about it is it has really good music. It's this like kind of somber, almost melancholy, small town vibe here. Okay, let's see. I do not remember what I was previously doing. This is a item that'll let me talk to animals. And it's a very like literary game, if that makes sense. It's something that like the way that they write it is very much sort of has like this sort of poetic or literature-esque vibe.
What I'm just wondering right now is like, just thinking, oh, wow, why didn't we get this like on our end? Because like,
Yeah,
it looks really cool. Like I like the idea also.
It's a very late game late Super Nintendo game, and it's also very. So this is the train station here, and it's very also text heavy, which is a lot of text heavy games didn't get picked up for the Super Nintendo, which there are actually a lot of them. Like they even like everybody knows about like visual novels, but there's a thing called like sound novels, which are basically the same thing with even less focus on visuals, just more like atmosphere and sound. And a lot of those got made by like even by like Chunsoft, who are like the people who like did Dragon Quest and stuff, but they're not as easy as easy sell as you know, an action game or something that like you barely have to localize, right?
Magpie and Chad should give this a go after I finish Kentucky Road Zero. Yeah, I also need to finish Kentucky Road Zero.
I need to start it because I was that person who's just like, I can't play that game until it's done.
Yeah, I finished the first episode way back when it came out, and then okay, I'm going to play the rest of it, or like play it again, everything once it's out. And now everything's out, so I kind of have to.
Yeah,
oh,
this is
office with cats.
Yeah, this is the town hall, and it's just full of cats doing like office work. Tell me some information you have on them. Okay. Heard a boy named Kanju has one of 7 journals. Meow. His village is to the northeast. Meow. Alright. And then you get this like little internal dialogue. I decided to go to the village where this boy named Kenju lives. Okay, let's say.
It's very nice how it like describes stuff. Like really like you would read a book or something.
Yeah, like I said, it's like very literary. Which is like very different than like how a lot of RPGs and stuff at the time did it, right? And I don't know how much of that is the translation and how much of that is the original script. But regardless, it's like it's really cool.
Yeah. And like what I find interesting about this is again like how, and it's something you also like wrote a lot about like how a canon about games is built on a very limited set of like things that like kind of just got mainstream recognition, but not really based on like the whole breadth of what even was out back then. And it's like something I always, it's like, it's why I always like talking about the Amiga, because there were also like a bunch of games there that were just like incredibly strange. Maybe not like good in the common sense, but like very creative and like in some ways like expressive, that you rarely see today, because like the people are now mostly following like very like specific like notions of how to build games. Unless obviously you look at like smaller spaces and smaller games where you still get this. But just seeing that, this was like on a bigger console, and it's like a game that's fairly different from like what you usually expect to see on like such a platform. So
yeah, like these games kind of like always existed, and nobody's known about them or played them for like 20, 30 years, just because
and also
of the barrier.
Also to see that there was a space for them, like which isn't completely the case now. Like I mean, in some way, but I'm pretty sure a game like this would probably nowadays look a bit different. I guess.
Yeah,
but
there's more space for them, if not a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Kenju. He seems pretty sad since he lost his tree, I guess. And I kind of just like, there's this real melancholy to this game, but not in like a like oppressive. Oh, whoops. Not in like an oppressive, sad way, and just kind of that way where like, small town life is just time's slower here, right?
Yeah.
And you get this feeling, because this person also just carries a briefcase around all the time. You get this feeling that this person is like, one of the reasons that they left is to get away from that feeling of being in a big city, right? Like there was something that drove them to look for a small town life. And that's something that feels like very relatable. I love having to go through the field just to have somebody tell you not to step on them. Yeah, and you can kind of see these are all kind of like oldish traditional Japanese houses, right? There's like a hearth in the middle for cooking and for warmth. They got firewood. And there's like hints that this is like a more modern time, but you know, people are living a lot simpler lives here. And part of that is like also you kind of get that vibe from, you know, this is a place where animals still just like interact with people, right?
Magpie started playing Kentucky Route Zero last week. Bought the game a month before Part 5 came out. I find it funny how, like, in general, a lot of people were like, all the time, don't wait until Kentucky Route Zero is out completely. Just start playing it. And kind of now it's like, again, like a lot of people said that are like playing the game from the beginning.
Because I don't remember.
Anyway. Yeah, because it's like it's been a while. So it's like, so I probably like take a few evenings in the next week or so and just try to play it.
I like this. This is like on occasion you'll get like these little illustrated story scenes. There's one earlier. I shared some screenshots above a while back of it, where they just kind of give you like this nice fable. Where they go through like the experience of like old history and like a myth, like local myths. And it's just like cool to I like always really love small things like that.
Yeah.
That have like these anecdotes about with lessons in them. Let's see.
I mean, what I really like about about this game right now is like how what impresses me is like how much it like manages to create a space, like, and also like an atmosphere, like with like the assets that they had at that point, and like the music that they have, like it's like it's tough to do that.
Mhm.
And to do it right, and so like to see that, it's like really really cool, like
So there are actually other areas you can go into,
yeah.
but they kind of restrict your movement to the places that you need to be.
Hmm.
Because I have been to that field to the right, but looks
Hmm.
like he's pretty sad. We're gonna find out. Let's maybe ask the cats, see if anybody has any ideas how to cheer this kid up. Nothing, huh? Okay. There was another guy somewhere in here who had
Like,
who you could talk to for more information.
well, it's like also like kind of the game is one thing I also like liked
Mm-hmm.
back like Aristocats Legend, for example. Like one thing I really enjoyed back when I like played it the first time was just running or walking around in the towns and jumping around and talking to people. And just like kind of like building your game around that. Like you walk around in an basically in an RPG town, and all you do is talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
more or less, and try. Sure, there's still puzzle elements or whatever, but it's like mostly just that. And it's always nice town music and
This dog. I went fairer after my owner headed off to some faraway place and left me behind. Oh, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay, I'm not sure if there's anything you can do in there. I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
I started playing the first. Oh, you met actual. Yes, there are actual cats that you can talk to.
Maybe the dog.
You can talk to. You get an
You
item
seem like
that
a
lets you to talk.
shady cat.
Yeah, you
That's
seem like
also
a
like
shady character.
cool thing, just like that.
Okay, I feel like sometimes I just miss something. Oh, it got stolen. Okay. Okay. So we did get something
need to
about
find the,
that one person who was
need to
jealous
find
about
the sapling.
Yeah. So there was that one person who was talking about how somebody was talking to Kenji about not wanting to have their sapling in their field. So this is like most of the game. Most of the game is just kind of talking to people and then remembering what they said and trying to kind of explore and talk to the right person to find out what's going on. So it's not
basically
like
sorry.
Yeah, here we go. EJ. It's not really like a mechanically dense game or anything. It's just basically all you do is talk, and sometimes you get an item that you need to use.
Yeah, it's essentially like the like parts in JRPGs without the fighting. Like again, like sometimes your progress is just gated by like have you talk to the right person. Like so remember, like in Secret of Mana, there was like one part where like you have to like gain access to like a specific city, but you don't can get into that city unless you speak to one NPC that is in one specific house, like in another. And if you don't do that, like good luck, you're not getting any.
Yeah, and I think that's usually one of the more frustrating parts about like JRPGs, but kind of building a game around it. It gives you especially since like there's a very specific atmosphere and sense of place. It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you get to do a lot of exploration and like I guess like there's a sense of inhabiting the space a little more.
Yeah.
Whereas usually when you're doing it in a JRPG, it's because you're trying to get to like the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So he was doing some digging in his own field. But which one? Who's who?
Magpie in chat, the act of strolling and looking around is fun to me. Oh, I enjoy message before that. I enjoy just walking in open world games and RPGs. The act of strolling and looking around is fun to me. And while just sprinting around everywhere feels very odd, and it's not as easy to take in the surroundings. Yeah, I can very relate to that. And it's also something that I really like when games give you an option to just walk, even though it's kind of quote unquote useless.
Mm-hmm.
Because it gives you and this is something that I'm always riffing on about, it gives you a way to express yourself in the game, how you want to approach a certain situation, when there's something a certain moment that you feel needs a certain degree of seriousness in some way, then moving slower on your own volition is usually much more impressive than the game forcibly slowing you down.
I also like when you got a specific actions to just sit down and things like that.
Yeah. And in the break I mentioned Wonder Song. Wonder Song has a thing that where you have a dedicated button that lets your character dance, and you can dance at almost any time during cutscenes, when you're singing, when you're running around in the world, and you can always dance. And even in serious situations, when your character's startled or sad, you can still dance, because you as a player can decide what kind of how you want to express yourself in that situation. It's a very small thing, but I think it adds a lot, and I really like when you can do that in games, and when games give you the opportunity to do it in some way, even if it's just a small thing. Because this leads to you making it kind of your own in some way, and it's not just a thing that someone tells you, a story that someone tells you, but it's your thing then in that moment.
Where's this Heiji guy? Heiju? Is this him? I feel like it's him. Oh, Heiji. Yeah, it is. So now how can I...
Do you have any items that might help?
I have... I don't know what this other one is. I don't think that book is anything. The other one is just the item that I can use to talk to animals. If I'm holding it. And, one cool thing about how this game handles items is that you don't use them on something, you just hold them in your hands. So you get this dialogue of should I go with this? And then you get that kind of very literary, I held it in my hands narration. And then you just interact with stuff. And by doing that, you'll automatically use it. Okay.
I imagine your character saying it then.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to figure out... because it's just dialogue triggers, so I'm trying to figure out if any of that dialogue triggered anything new.
No.
But it also helps just to see people going about their day, and then the music is... it kind of puts me in the mood to kind of do something a little slower.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind wandering around. I just kind of dipping into the game in and out.
It's definitely a game where you can do that, and I also like it when you have something where you can just kind of pace yourself in some way. So yeah, I mean I could play it longer, but I don't want to right now, and I don't stop playing it because I don't like it anymore, but because I feel like stopping, and kind of when you read a book and you decide, okay, now I'm done. I don't have to read more of it, but I'm going to pick up later at some point.
Yeah, that's definitely the feeling that I get.
And I feel a lot of games aren't very good at that. Like, it's
Yeah, no,
either,
they're all,
it's either,
especially modern games, are very built to kind of always be played continuously for long periods of time.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's either you feel like compulsed to play it, or you stop playing it because at some point you're just frustrated in
yeah, a
some
lot of
way.
times it's because I burn out.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's a lot of natural stopping points, right? Or this one, you can like this game is actually specifically, if you saw the save screen, this game actually does have chapters. Once you finish the chapter, it moves on to the next one, and then the world changes a little. Like the previous one, I had to deal with the Cairo Brigade, which is it's like a group of frogs just getting drunk at a bar and making a lot of noise. And then after you kind of deal with them, you saw they ran away to another country to learn how to make cocktails. Let's see.
At least now they are productive.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay,
So it
the
says to
sapling
be
has
in
to
the,
be somewhere.
somewhere
Like,
in the field,
did
right?
someone like say something about the field? Maybe it's
She
the one
says
that
something about
built-
him working in a field at night and hating Kenju. So,
Like,
but
maybe
I guess this would be his?
some of
Because
maybe
all
some
these
of the
people are
field
working.
workers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but like maybe some of them are saying something.
Okay. Same dialogue.
Um,
So I'm assuming his field is the one that isn't being worked on. Because she said he doesn't like to work on it. But I don't know.
yeah.
There's...
Maybe you need a tool.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right. Let me walk over this field a couple more times. Just to make sure that I'm not missing something. And then let's go back to Ihatovo to find out if there's any tools in there.
Yeah. So, it's like if he like, I find it a bit strange to like hide a
Sapling.
tree sapling under the earth, but who am I to judge, really? It's like, okay, you do you. I mean, at some point the sapling.
Oh,
can
you know
still,
what?
like,
There's
come
an agricultural society here. Maybe they have
Oh.
something useful.
And this is one of these things. Then, like, right now it's like, oh, maybe this is the solution, and then you go there and like, nope, it's not, and like the disappointment sets in. Of like, okay, what do I do now? Like, I had this idea, it sounds so smart, and it wasn't the right one.
But it's nice to kind of like see if you can put those connections, and when they actually like do work, it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, hope is also a nice thing. Like, for a moment, I think, okay, now I can progress.
Hello, it's almost summertime, isn't it?
And to do like a bit of a comparison, it's also like a bit of the thing that like that's like a thing with like Metroidvania games where like get a new upgrade and then okay, now I can go to new places where I haven't been before. Now I'm maybe not stuck anymore, and then you go somewhere and realize, oh no, I forgot that I not only need that upgrade but also a different upgrade that I still don't have. Or you go there and you realize, oh, it's just like all of these games in that time had some kind of like Einstein like version. Like there's so many of those. Like,
let's see, can I talk to this guy? He needs to focus on the lesson. He's a good student.
Same.
What is this man teaching? He looked very serious.
Very angry. Like, I bet he shouts a lot.
Yeah, I think he takes agriculture very seriously. Okay, well, there's nothing here.
Is that the agricultural thing?
This is the agricultural school.
Oh, okay.
It's weird because like this game feels like there are adventure gamey bits about it, but it's not sort of like an adventure game where you're kind of just like always picking up tools. There's usually the solution is just you have to talk to the right person.
No.
Oh, you know what? You gotta step up here. This man wants to be a poet. He talks a lot about Kenji Miyazawa and wanting to be a great poet like Kenji. Now let's see.
Is Kenji the one that's crying about the sapling?
That's Kenju.
Ah, okay.
Confusingly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was just like, wow, that's a weird. Thankfully, with this game being really small, there's not. Oh, a Charlie Chaplin film? There's not like a lot of things that you can interact with. So it doesn't feel like there's an overwhelming amount of things to like go to and try to figure out.
Yeah, I think that's also like important when you have like such like a kind of open structure in general, like no matter what game, is that you kind of find a way to still keep people or players restricted in some way, that they don't get like completely into the weeds with, again, like going back to the Link's
The Zelda
Awakening
thing,
story.
yeah, you just start
you
coming
had
up
this
with
giant,
fake
like,
solutions.
world around there and you couldn't progress. Okay, then let's check every corner in the world to find a way to progress. And like when you don't give players that like thing, that's actually something that I kind of like. I played Super Metroid a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, and that's actually something that I kind of liked about the game, that it like really managed really well to get you stuck in areas like until you figured out how like where like so that you don't like come to get the idea that, oh no, I have to go to the completely opposite side of the map and bomb the wall over there instead of just 3 roams over in some way. I think it did a like fairly well job with, like, in comparison to like say like a lot of the more open Castlevania games, which in my eyes have a lot of problems with that.
Yeah, like sending you across the map to do
Yeah.
something over there.
Yeah.
Okay, let me save. Will you be staying here? Yes.
You don't have to pay for it.
Oh, no. You do not. There is no currency or anything.
How nice. Like, wouldn't it be great if it was always all the time?
Yeah,
this
I would
way?
love that. Okay, well, I
Yeah,
can't
me
figure out anything
too.
here. Kenju's house. There's got to be something
There's-
I missed then.
Yeah. Like, just like from like, I don't know how like they did it in like the first chapter, but just from my impression, I feel like the solution has to be like in some way like in that area.
Yeah, it
Because
usually
you found
is in
most-
this area.
Yeah, because you found most hints also, like maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get the feeling that it's going to be restricted to mostly one area because from what I have played, you don't usually have to go back to the town that often because you get mostly the vignettes in here. I don't even know if there's like a FAQ for this thing because like it wasn't in English for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Chapter 3. Huh. Okay. Well, I got a little hint. I had to talk. I had
Never
to
talk
talk.
to the other dog.
I never talked to the other dog. Yeah. I mean, because they're dogs, right? You don't think
Yeah.
that they're important. They just give you side dialogue. But turns out you should pay attention to little animals.
Yeah. Oh. And the dog's going to dig it out for you.
Oh, yeah, okay. See, this is the adventure game brain thinking that I need to get like
Yeah,
3 items
yeah.
together.
I mean, look, in the end, you needed something to dig it out for you. Like, It was a dog.
Yeah.
Break or something.
Okay.
Okay, I think you. Ah.
Let's see. There we go. Should I go with this? I held it in my hands. Okay,
Oh, it's dried up. Maybe like go to the water thing.
Oh, yeah. Can I use this? Oh, I guess I could
That's
also...
disappointing.
I guess I could bring it to... Well, it's probably dead, right?
Oh yeah.
I guess I could bring it up to him. Yeah.
Good.
Oh. I guess he ran off some... Maybe he ran off to... up here.
Let's look around. Dog is still excited.
Where did he run to?
Weren't there like his parents around somewhere? Maybe.
Yeah. I thought I saw him. Okay, I'm still holding it.
Sida, I hardly knew her. Seda is Seda or Sida? Seda, right? The
I
pronunciation.
guess it depends on what region you're in.
Ah, cool. Seda.
I say cedar.
German. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who else could I talk to?
Maybe some of
Oh,
the-
here we go.
Okay.
Oh. It's interesting. I get like really excited for small things like that. Oh, an owl!
Oh. Suddenly.
Look at his face. You're an adult? Why are you able to talk with me? Oh, I guess adults lose the ability to talk to animals, huh? I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Your pal friendo in chat.
This owl rules. Yeah, I love this owl. Oh. And like the music changed tone a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see what the stock has to say now. Where's the other dog? Oh, maybe it was AG's dog.
Yeah, apparently because Heiji is gone.
Because he did
the
that.
dog
I
is
did
gone.
notice that dog disappeared when Heiji ran.
And the dog was rude to you, as was Heiji. So
That's true. You're right. They do kind of resemble each other, don't they? You seem like a shady character, he said. Okay, yeah, I talked to this guy.
Dogs and owners and all that.
Yeah, this game is just all small vignettes like this. Each chapter is like a new one. He's gonna tell me to stop stepping on the field. Oh man. It's a little sad.
Hopefully it doesn't fall into a life of crime. Wow, those are like,
it's only been 7 days.
like,
The
oh,
Journal of Comfort.
awesome.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
that's
sweet.
monoculture, which isn't very healthy for forest.
Well, thankfully it's only a one area, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to call it, right?
Yeah,
I'll
I think
probably come back to these if people are interested, and the
like,
archive will go up soon.
This is a really nice game for me to watch and like see in the evening. Nice go to bed game.
Yeah, and I think doing some of these and then just putting them up, it'd be a nice thing, you know. I also like to watch a couple of like let's plays and stuff like this before I head off to bed. So this seems like the perfect thing for that. Everybody who has joined me, thank you again. It has been fun. Eric, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you staying up late and
like,
guiding me through Mystic
really,
Quest.
Yeah, when I'm around or whatever, like I'm always up to talk. I like to talk a lot, so
Yeah, me too. But people tend to be asleep, you know.
Yeah, that as well.
So
but I don't have a job, so oof.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back. We'll be back with these again, I'm sure.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.